Hey everyone, welcome back to Life with Gold Girl, or I should say, y'all have probably been waiting around. I'm the one that needs welcoming back. I know it's been a while. I had another video planned, but I'm sorry, I'm finally filming back in my family room and all the dogs are here wanting to say hello. So I'll just pan down for a moment. There they are. There's Mimi and Ricky. Okay. Anyway, this video was requested specifically by NurberXO. Welcome to being newly single and happy, for those of you that are wondering. For those of you who have no idea who I'm talking about, shame on you. I will link Nur's YouTube channel in the description box, and you can go discover the joy that is Nur, if you haven't already. This video should be fairly self-explanatory. Oh, Rook. Fairly self-explanatory. I think the title will be the 5 non-negotiables for, I don't want to say dating, because dating implies a short-term relationship. This is for those of you that want a long-term relationship, that want this to lead to marriage. And this video is kind of, for those of you who follow me on BravoTV, I've shared some of these opinions before. I am not disabling, comments will be on approval for this video. Let's do a little administrative detail here. I'm putting comments on approval because I know that what I'm talking about is controversial and that many of you not only will disagree, which you're entitled to disagree, but disagree rudely, and that's just not okay. So just to head off any unpleasantries, I'll be putting comments on approval. Feel free to disagree with me. I'm not saying that it's not like God is speaking to me and I'm telling you this is the truth and the way. I am merely sharing my observations and opinions that I have collected over the last 20 years of being an adult. I am happily married, so this is not really geared for me, but the stuff that I've found has been either a source of strength for our marriage, or at times an area of contention that is something to think about when you're looking for your potential spouse. Let's just put it there. This is for those of you who are looking for a potential spouse, or who are in a relationship and are wondering if this is something that's going to turn into something permanent. These are some things to think about. Also, at this stage of my married life, not a lot, but there are a number of friends, acquaintances that have either already been divorced, are going through divorce, contemplating divorce, and these are observations I've gained from watching what's gone wrong in their marriage and from hearing them tell me what's gone wrong in their marriage. These are things that almost to a fault, every single one of my friends has said, I knew it then if I had only acted on it 20 years ago, 15 years ago. So, that being said, these are my 5 non-negotiables that you should be looking for in a spouse. I got this idea from Patti Stanger in Millionaire Matchmaker on BravoTV. I will put a link to that show below as well. She's very entertaining. If you don't like my style, because I can come across a little strong, you will hate her. She makes me look soft. She's pretty hardcore. But sometimes you kind of have to be in life, I think. Now, I am not saying that this is going to work for everybody. And there are plenty of people who I know are going to write and say, I have the exact opposite situation and I've been happily married for 50 years. That's great. I love anytime you are happily together with someone for a period of time and it defies all the odds. That's wonderful too. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how you get there as long as you're there and you're happy. But generally speaking, and I have to speak in generalizations, I'm talking to thousands of people, hopefully, these are things to think about. I'm not talking about honesty and commitment, and those are important, but I'm talking about first time you sit down and talk to, I'm gearing this towards the women, so I'm sorry, I'm not going to be politically correct or gender neutral. So ladies, the first time you sit down with someone, you're talking to a man, Let's go. And again, I'm saying man, because if you're talking to boys, then you are not old enough to be considering a long-term spouse. Just, there you go. Okay. So when you're talking to a man, first time you meet him, first time you're on a date, these are things that should come up in conversation on a first date, or that you should be able to glean from the conversation. And if you don't see these five-ish, for sure four, five's a little negotiable. If you don't see these things in him right away, bye-bye. I mean, unless you just want to have a good time and you're not worried about a long-term relationship. But here we go. I'm going to start with the least controversial and go from there. How about that? Okay, I mentioned this on Facebook if you follow me. First of all, you have to be physically attracted to the man. I am not saying that you want to leap across the table and rip his clothes off. That's all well and good. And yes, there needs to be more than that. But first and foremost, you have to be physically attracted to the person. And he should be attracted to you as well. But we're just talking about y'all now. So, otherwise, I mean, it's great if you are friends and you have all this great stuff in common and you feel so comfortable. But if you're not physically attracted to the man, then you might as well just be shopping for a roommate. I'd be married to my best girlfriend. You know, I mean, that would be fun to live with your best girlfriend and go shopping and hang out. No, that's not the goal here. You want a spouse. You want a partner in life. And part of that partnership is the sex life. I mean, we're adults here, or hopefully most of you are adults here. If you're not an adult, of course I'm talking about when you're married. But there needs to be that physical relationship. There needs to be that attraction. Marriage is not just about friendship. Most of it is, but there has to be, I feel, the strongest marriages also have a strong physical attraction, sexual component to it. There are times when things aren't always going as well on the friendship level, but you're still going to be able to connect physically, and vice versa. So you really need all the elements in a relationship to be strong. And I think the one that gets overlooked the most is a physical relationship. So have to be attracted. If you have to learn to be attracted, no. Now, and if you're not physically attracted to him right off the bat when you're in your 20s and probably looking the best you're ever going to look, it's not going to happen when he's in his 50s and his 60s and we've gone through childbirth and we've all gone through wrinkles and stretching. No. So got to start with that. Okay. Number 2, no addictions. And when I say addictions, I'm not saying, obviously, you don't want to date a heroin addict, but I'm talking about addictions not only to drugs, addictions to alcohol, addictions to tobacco, unless, of course, you are a smoker. Shame on you, but I guess that wouldn't be a deal breaker then for you. But addictions to porn, addictions to work, addictions to partying with your buddies. You can sort of spread this generalization out to anything where it consumes them too much, because a guy who loves to party with his buddies and drink until all hours of the night when he's 22, 24, 26, guess what? If he hasn't outgrown it by then, he's not going to. So while it may seem like he's so fun to be with, you know, or 25 and we're going to all the cool clubs and we're looking fine. That's not fun when you're 40 and you're trying to raise children. Moderation is the key here. So if they have an addictive personality to whatever the addiction is, that's a, for me, deal breaker. It just escalates as they get older, and unless it's something you really know that you're going to be able to live with, I would walk away. Okay, number 2, religion. Okay, starting to get to the controversial stage here. I think for a marriage, or I'm just going to stick with the traditional terms. You can fill in what you want, but for me, it's going to be marriage. For a marriage to truly work, you need to be on the same page with religion. That doesn't mean you both have to be religious. You just have to be the same level of religion. If you're both devoutly, whatever your religion is, then both be devoutly religious. If neither one of you believes in God and you're both atheists, perfect. But if you have an atheist dating a fundamentalist Christian, that's not going to work. If you have 2 devout religious people, but one's a Christian and one's a Jew, probably not going to work either. You have to, it really is such a source of stress. Not so much in the beginning of relationships. I have plenty of friends in interfaith marriages or in marriages where one spouse is religious and the other one isn't. And in the beginning, when there are no children, it's not a problem. There's some stress when it comes to celebrating the holidays with the extended family, but and even when the children are younger and you think it's fine, we'll raise them both. In the beginning, it's not so bad. But I can tell you, now that I have a teenager and I have friends, most of my friends, my YouTube friends seem to be younger than me, but my real life friends are all in their mid to late 40s, it seems like. When your kids are older, that's when things fall apart if you are not on the same page with your religion and your spirituality and the level at which you choose to be observant. So I cannot stress to you enough. If a guy you meet does not have the same approach to religion as you do, you need to run. I'm serious. It seems so trivial when you're in your 20s, but as you get older, it doesn't. It isn't. It's an important thing, and I am speaking to you from the other side of 20 now, way past 20. Okay. I said 5 non-negotiables. I'm gonna go with 4 and maybe throw in some caveats. Okay, the most controversial thing here. If you're a feminist, you might want to turn off, you just might want to click off. I think, from what I personally have observed in life, that for a marriage to truly be successful, the husband and wife need to be at the same level. Okay, how do I put this? You at least have to have the same amount of education. Or I think that the husband can be slightly more educated, than the wife. Now this translates or can be stretched, sorry, I'm forgetting some words here, towards the job situation. Yes, men and women are perfectly capable of performing the same jobs. However, I have seen so many marriages fall apart when the husband is not as successful in his work life as the woman. There, said it. When a woman makes more money than her spouse, it rarely works. The man either resents the woman because she's doing what he wants to be doing in his life, or the woman ultimately grows to resent the man because she feels like she's carrying him. I don't care what the feminists say. I don't care what people are saying about gender equality. At the end of the day, women have a desire to want to be taken care of. They don't have to be, but we want our spouses to be able to. Now, we are also perfectly able of taking care of ourselves, but we would like, it's an animal instinct. You see it in the animal kingdom. Okay, I'm going off on a tangent. That was a blog TV thing. But I see, you can have 2 lawyers in the family, and that's great. And, or you can have a doctor and a lawyer, and that's great. Or you can have 2 teachers, and that's great. But when you have, the woman is a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, and the husband is a teacher, which is a very respectable field. Hello, I was a teacher. It doesn't work. It's rare. It's very, both parties have to be incredibly self-confident and comfortable with their position in life. And it's just rare to find someone that evolved. So, this was the part I was hesitant to share, but I have just seen too many marriages fall apart because the woman is more educated, more successful, more driven than the husband, and it starts with a little nitpicking and then it just sort of expands, and by the time they're around that 40-year mark, there's fighting and screaming and resentment, and it gets ugly, and that's when you get the ugly divorces. So it doesn't mean that you have to marry someone who's going to take care of you, but you should want to marry someone who at least is the same as you. And that's, I should edit this, but you guys know how I feel about editing, so I'm just going to keep babbling. And again, when you're young, these things don't seem that important, but as you get older and if you're raising a family, these are the things that just grow to be huge elephants in the room if you don't address them early on. And this last caveat is this last non-negotiable kind of piggybacks off of that. You have to have the same work ethic. You have to have the same drive in life. The wife can't be the one driven and the husband be lazy, or vice versa. You can't have your husband going off to work 12, 13, 14 hours a day and you're sitting on your butt eating bonbons. It's not gonna work. It has to be a team approach. You guys have to be on the same page. If you're both laid back and not all that motivated, that's great. You guys are on the same page and it's fine. Or if you're both driven, focused individuals, you've got some other issues, but at least you're on the same page there. It all kind of comes down to one thing. You have to be very similar in those 5 areas. The similarities are what's key, because as you go through life together, it's those similarities, those commonalities that keep you together, because there's going to be plenty of other things in life that will kind of put little wedges in your life. And if you don't have those commonalities, those 5 non-negotiables, you're never going to hold it together for the long haul. And by long haul, I mean 50, 60, 70 years. Of course, I haven't gotten that far yet. I'm on, how long has it been? Married 14 and a half, almost. Together 17 and a half. So, I'm getting along there. I think I might know what I'm talking about. So the 5 non-negotiables, again, physical attraction, no addictions, I wrote them down if you're wondering, same approach to religion/spirituality, same work ethic, and same level of income, prestige level at your job, education, that sort of whole environment should be on a similar level. As far as you don't want to date a cheater, you want someone who's honest, who's not a liar, who treats their mother nicely, who's kind to old people and animals, that all goes without saying. You'll find that all out as you date, but you can head off a lot of unpleasantness if you just kind of figure those 5 things out, and you can pretty much pick that out during the first date or the first meeting. Those are pretty apparent. The rest of the stuff, I personally am a dog lover, so if I ever meet someone who doesn't like dogs, or animals in general, not really a relationship I want to pursue. I'm talking friendship now. I don't always judge the how do they treat their mother thing, because sometimes you get let's be honest, sometimes you get a crappy mother, and does that mean he has to be nice to his mom? I don't know. Better that you should be on the same page about his mother. That's another same page thing. My mother-in-law was tough. She's since passed away. She was tough. She was a hard mother-in-law to have. My husband was always polite, I guess, but we were on this. Hi, Means. We were on the same page as far as how we felt about his mother. So again, hey, it's just a squirrel. It's okay. It's okay. No, in Mimi's world, it is not okay. There should never be a squirrel on our property. Rook! That's Rookie. He's getting so old, he rarely gets up, so I guess I should be happy that he's barking. Okay, anyway, so I guess I'm repeating myself a lot now. It all comes down to similarities, and the more you have, the more likely you will have a successful relationship. So anyway, I hope that this helped. I don't think it did. I mean, I'm listening to myself and I'm not loving it. But, Nur, this was for you. If you want me to expand more on these thoughts, you should catch me on a BravoTV where I can go on for hours. So, thanks for watching. Sorry it's been so long since the last Life with Gold Girl video. I'm going to get this edited and up, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.